Hi there! This is a remake of one of my last videos showing a comparison between the AM4 and the AM5 platform. I will compare my old platform against my newer computer, and this by placing 3 different GPUs on them. And this video is split in 3 parts. The first one will show my old computer, the AM5900X, against the new platform, the AM7950X. And yeah, the GPUs I am using there are the 3070 Ti, the 3090 and the 4090. The second part will be just my fastest configuration, my new computer with the 4090, how it performs in Davinci Resolve. And the third part is just showing how my footage, the footage from the R5C, is performing with my new computer. Now here you can see I have a diagram, and always the first 3 scores here will show my old platform, the 5900X, first with the slowest GPU, then with the 3090, then with the 4090. Then there comes 3 bars with the newer CPU and the AM5 platform, and here you can see the score I get with the slowest GPU, the 3070 Ti, then with the 3090 and with the 4090. Now here you can see that if you change the platform to the newer AM5 in Fusion score, it will bring you some benefits. So you can compare it by yourself and you see, okay, the one system is a 12 core, the 5900X, while the 7950X is a 16 core CPU and 32 threads. And yeah, you see, if you change both from the old platform with the 3070 Ti against the newer, compared with the 4090, you will get not exactly a double score, but a much higher score. And if you put a better GPU in the older platform, you will get in Fusion a much higher score. Now here in the GPU effect, you will see here it doesn't count so much. If you use the AM4 or the AM5 platform, here you just get some FPS more. Here it counts much more to have a better GPU. As you see from the 3070 Ti 114, you get 240, and from 119 you get 280. So yeah, for GPU effects, the best thing you can do is go with a 4090 or maybe a 4080 Ti or something like that. Then the 8K media score, here I would say it is more important to have the newer platform over having a better GPU. Unless, yeah, if your GPU has only 8 GB video RAM, and then you will have here, like you see, a low score even with a faster GPU. The rest, except of this 8 GB video RAM graphic card, will show that with a better CPU you will get a little bit more than just with changing the GPU. Here in the 4K media score you can also see every result, also with the slowest GPU, will be better in average than the fastest GPU with the older 5900X. Now, how it translates to the overall score, here you see for the overall score, it will show the standard overall score is much higher with the newer CPU compared to the older CPU. But most of it, the higher score, is caused because of the Fusion score and because of the GPU effect. And so I would say for my needs, and I need more 8K media score, I would say I get more benefit out of a faster GPU. And of course, I will use the 4090. But also if I would stay with the 3090, I would say because it is faster on the AM5 platform in 8K, I would suggest an upgrade of the CPU over an upgrade of the GPU. If you can afford both of it, then it's of course the best. Now let's see the 4K footage. Here you can see, depending on the format, you will get a boost by the performance from 91 to 159 FPS, while in other formats, B-RAW to H.264, you will not get the equal high performance improvement. And something strange is here, the 5900X with the 3070 Ti will be faster than the newer AM5 platform with the 3070 Ti. I don't know why the other 2 graphic cards are performing better on the AM5 platform, And but there is some kind of limitation here. As you can see, the 3090 and the 4090 are performing equal on the AM5, while in the AM4 I got a big boost by inserting the 4090 over the 3090 in this format. Some formats here are not performing so well with the 3070 Ti. You cannot say it's a clear thing that if you go with a faster CPU, your footage will be faster, but you see there are a lot of formats like here and here and here, where you get a real big benefit by moving or switching to an AM5 platform. While in other file types, you will see that inserting a 4090 will get you almost the same benefit like if you switch the platform. Here you can see at your own which format you will take, and to compare it, just scroll down so that you can see it a little bit bigger. And let's move over here. That was the 4K comparison. Let's move over to the 8K comparison. Here you see that the overall score is so over here. In the 8K has here a low score with the 3070 Ti. And this is caused because there are some formats where the 3070 Ti will play only 1 FPS, like here, here, and here. And I don't know why the old platform, the 5900X, was a little bit faster than over here with the newer platform. But if you have enough VRAM so that you can play the 8K media, then you see again here you get a big improvement by switching to the AM5 for this format. And some formats don't really matter so much the platform, but if you use more red to H.264, here I would say it's better to get a faster graphic card. As you see, the 4090 will be faster with the older AM4 than the 3090 with the newer AM5 platform. A little bit similar it is also here in this format or in this format. On the other hand, again, there are some formats where you see the AM5 will be much faster than the older AM4 platform. And also here for the H.265 to H.264, I would say it is a mix of both. The graphic card will bring a lot of power, but again, the switch of the platform will bring a bigger benefit. And here you can see again what format will have how much of a benefit. Now let's switch over to the GPU effect. And here you can see that the GPU matters much more than the platform. As with the 4090, you are faster than with the 3090 on the new AM5 platform. And the switch of the platform will bring you some FPS, while a change of the GPU will bring you much more FPS. And this in most of the situations. I mean, phase refinement, optical flow, let's make it a little bit bigger. There is a similar behavior. Again, here, the newer are just some FPS difference, while the GPU will bring you most of the benefit. Same picture here, same picture here, same here. And yeah, one strange thing, I don't know why, but film grain will benefit much more with the combination of the AM5 with the 4090, while on the old platform, the 4090 brought just, let's say, 22 FPS. Here you have a double score. And yeah, the rest is again acting like before, similar. Then in the Fusion score, you will see that the platform will bring most of the benefit. So also the slowest graphic card with the AM5 will be faster than the older AM4 platform with the 4090, and this in most of the different things of the Puget Bench benchmark. So turbulent particles, it is similar. Sometimes it is strange that the 3070 Ti will be faster than the 3090 and faster than the 4090. Overall, you see in most of the cases the platform will make a bigger difference. But for the phone composite, here it is not exactly the same. Here the GPU will bring also a big benefit and not only the platform. Here 3D title, the slowest graphic card with the new platform is faster than the older platform with the fastest GPU. This was part 1. Let's move over to part 2. And here I will show you my new computer, the 7950X with the 4090 in different configurations. Here the bars are always 8 bars. The upper 4 bars are showing the Windows 11 and the first bars with Davinci Resolve 18.1. And then the first bar is only with debugger. The second one is decompression by debugger, like the other 3. So this, and this, as well as this, and this are with decompression and debugger. And while the upper 2 are showing Davinci Resolve 18.1, the third and the fourth are showing the Davinci Resolve 18.0.4. So you see the 18.1 will be faster than the 18.0.4 in the Fusion score, and this in Windows 10, as well also in Windows 11. Then you see the GPU effects. It is a little bit similar like this. Davinci Resolve will benefit more with Davinci Resolve 18.1. So it is faster than Davinci Resolve 18.0.4. And here the difference from these two are, here I set the RAM just into the standard 3600 megahertz. So this is if you do nothing in the BIOS, then you will get this core, and this bar here as well as this bar are set with the export profile, in my case to 6000 megahertz for the RAM. And I have 4 sticks, RAM sticks in my system. So here we see the GPU effects are a little bit faster with Windows 10 over Windows 11. And here what matters for me more is the 8K media score. And here the overall for the 8K media is a little bit faster with the Windows 11 and decompression and debugger. This is a reason why I will use my computer with Windows 11 and Davinci Resolve 18.1 with decompression and debugger. A little bit similar it is here. In the 4K media score, you have a little bit higher score, not in every case, but for the ones which are important for me, the Windows 11 is a little bit higher than Windows 10. Because the standard and the extended overall are showing results, including all the things up here, Fusion, GPU, 8K media, and 4K media, it looks like the Windows 10 is faster for the standard scores than Windows 11. But as I told you before, I care more about 8K media score, and so I will work in the Windows 11. Then now we will enter into the details. Like before, we can see here that it is very strongly depending on what files your footage is. R3D to DNX HR Haiku, here you have not such a big difference from the different scores, while in the B-RAW to H.264 you see there is a very big difference, let's say from Davinci Resolve 18.1 to 18.0.4, and you will benefit so much more, not exactly double score, but much faster here. This in Windows 10 and in Windows 11. So because there are some pictures where you see you get a very big improvement when you install the Davinci Resolve 18.1, I would say I would recommend to install at least Davinci Resolve 18.1. With this picture, you can just say that, yeah, it is really depending what is your footage. And will you benefit more from Windows 11 or Windows 10? And as you have not really a clear winner, there are some formats where the scores are almost equal. Here you just can look a little bit what is better for you. And if you have R3D to H.264, then it is also better to use only debugger, as this format is much faster when you set it with debugger. And the same configuration, and just with the setting to decompression and debugger, you will get 98 instead of 154. So it really depends what your footage is. Now if we enter to the 8K sample with the same hardware, you will also see similar results, as there are some footages where you will be a little bit faster with the Windows 11 and some others where you will be a little bit faster with Windows 10, and here again a little bit faster the 11, faster. Here it is about the same speed, and here depending on the settings with the 18.0.4 this was faster on Windows 10. while with the 18.1 it is faster now on Windows 11. It really depends what is your footage, and we have no clear winner and no clear recommendation. Just I would say the 18.1 is for most of the cases, of course, faster than the 18.0.4 in Davinci Resolve. Then if you switch to the GPU effects, you can see here the Windows 10 is faster than Windows 11. For most of the cases, their lens blur X5 is about exactly the same no matter what your settings are. And strangely also here, the 4th and the 8th with the RAM set to 3600, no difference, while in other things it is a little bit slower. Like here with the RAM set to 3600, it is a little bit slower than the other settings. And here, just this is so that you can see why the scores in the overall thing have been so much higher, or from where the difference comes. And it really matters what are you doing with your footage and which effects you are using. So there are effects where it doesn't matter your OS or the version of the Davinci Resolve, while in others you see sometimes the older Davinci Resolve is better and most of the times the newer is better. Then in the Fusion we can see here there are some effects which are clearly faster on Windows 10 and the rest is close, but in most of the cases a little bit faster on Windows 10 than with Windows 11. And yeah, I would say mainly because of the Fusion score, we have overall sampled that the Windows 10 is showing as it is much faster than the Windows 11, but it's not so much faster as it is only some FPS. I mean, instead of 22 FPS, you get here 24. So yeah, it is a difference, but for me, not a really big difference. This was the part 2 of this video, and let's move now over to Davinci Resolve with my own footage. Let's enter into the part 3, where I will show you how my computer, the new one, the AMD 7950X, performs with 8K raw 60 FPS from the Canon EOS R5C. And here you can see the footage on a 60 FPS timeline. So the timeline 1 is set to 60 FPS. If I play it, or if I want to play it, you see it is just not playable so well. It is jumping around, so it is not fast. Let's go here to see how fast the footage is in the color page. And here we'll see the speed is 51 to 52 with the color grading I made. And so it means, yeah, 52 on a timeline with 60 FPS is not fast enough. If you would set the timeline to 50 FPS, it would be not jumping around, but you could play it smoothly. Also with a timeline of 30 FPS or 24 or 25. I also have the same footage here with a slightly other color grading, where I use a LUT and just a little bit raw settings. And here you can see the edit page from Davinci Resolve is playing without any stuttering, without jumping around and so. And if we switch here to the color tab, you can see, okay, the speed is over 59.94 FPS, so it is faster than 60 FPS. Therefore, it can play it very well also in the edit page. So it means with hardware, with the Canon EOS R5C, it is possible, depending on the way how you will do your color grading, to have a speed of over 60 FPS. And there is absolutely no problem if your timeline would be 30 FPS. I can prove this here, as I made a timeline, the second one, with 30 FPS. And here it is the same footage again. Wait, let's go over here. And let's play this one here. So sometimes, yeah, the first frames are jumping, but the rest is absolutely no problem. Here you see, okay, 29.97 FPS, and also if we go into the color tabs, it is absolutely no problem to have a speed of over 30 FPS, so the same footage is playing really smoothly with the same color grading like before. I would suggest with the Canon EOS R5C mostly to work with a timeline of 30 or 25 or 24 point something FPS. Now here, of course, the second grading will also have, here we had no problem before in the editing page, and so we have absolutely no problem also here with the 30 FPS. Similar footage here, it is the same thing. Here it's not jumping. It is playing it very well as we are faster than 30 FPS, while if we move here to the timeline 1 with the 60 FPS, and let's take the same footage, it is stuttering and it will make some jumps. Again, if you go here into the color tab, we will see up here it is only 50 FPS, so it's not 60 FPS. Then here you will see a very slow thing, and this is caused because I enabled here temporal noise removal, and yeah, it is jumping around with only 13 FPS, so that means also in the edit tab it will be jumping and not good, showing a little bit and jumping, so not really good workable in the timeline with 60 FPS, and a little bit faster it would be here with the LUT, but again it is jumping as with the 60 FPS it is not fast enough. Let's go over here to the timeline with the 30 FPS and let's play here the same thing with noise removal. In the 30 FPS with the bad color grading you're about 22 FPS, and with a little bit better color grading, so after the beginning jumpings it will be fast enough. So you see with the timeline of 30 FPS you're able also with some noise removal to play it smoothly. And what I also have to show you is here in the project manager, in the project settings, I'm playing with a timeline resolution of 8K DCI. What was a little bit surprising for me is that the 4K DCI is not so much faster. You will get maybe 4 to 5 FPS faster, but it won't make the big difference. So if you are at 51 FPS, you will be at 56 FPS. And so it's not fast enough to reach the 60 FPS. And therefore I prefer to stay in the 8K as there is no difference in the playback if I take the 30 FPS timeline. And so mainly I will work with a 30 FPS timeline. It just means that with this computer you can edit really well with the 8K footage on a 8K timeline, but you have to take a 30 FPS timeline to color grade the footage from the R5C. Let's go again back to the timeline 1 with the 60 FPS, as here you also have the possibility that if you are not fast enough, let's say here it is jumping, of course you can remove the color gradings, just bypass them and play it then, and you will see now you get your 60 FPS, so there is no problem. After the first jumpings you can play it really well. And I set the bypass color to one button, to one key with the A. You see I can enable or disable it, and let's go over here and see if with bypassing the color thing, if the noise reduction will be playable. So you see it is okay. It is not bad. Okay, let's go again into the color tab, and with this temporal noise removal and bypass the color grading, you see we are faster than 60 FPS, and let's enable it with the A key. Here you see it falls down to 14. So also you can work in Davinci Resolve just by bypassing the color editing thing if you have a 4090 RTX NVIDIA and the AM5 platform with the 7950X. Now what I haven't tested until now is the AMD GPU, and I ordered one, but I don't know when it will arrive. So if the 7900 XTX will arrive, then I will make also the same testings to see if it is fast enough for these tasks and my footage, then I think I would sell the 4090. But I don't imagine that it will be speedy enough to compete against the 4090. And so my expectation is that I will keep the 4090 and resell again the 7900 XTX. So yeah, this was what I wanted to show you. And so you can really work also with 8K footage just by bypassing the color editing. Or I will enable it here again. You see here it is jumping, and if you disable it, you will get over 60 FPS. So let's stop it, and thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you learned something, and I hope it helps you to get the right decision for your hardware. So yeah, see you next time. Bye.